Hey guys, and welcome to the vlog. So, it's been a rather uneventful week. A few things have happened. For example, the Should You Play Black Desert in 2018 video went up right before last week's vlog, and it's done fairly well at 10,000 views. Still is a great thumbnail. Apart from that, a few other important videos have gone up this week. The climbing kill was a pretty funny kill I got that I uploaded. It's been fairly well received for what is somewhat different content for the channel. I don't plan to upload stuff like this super often, but as I find them, I might upload them. I would like to edit it with some more proper editing and maybe add some memes or something in there, but for now, I'm just leaving it as is. Rab-M skills came out this week, but they're not really as exciting as Absolute skills were. They're not as game-changing. And for a lot of classes, they're fairly useless. So the Rab-M skills have done okay on the channel, but weren't super well received. I did do an intro to the lawn at long last. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and that's actually doing really well. People seem pretty happy with that. And then the Noob to Node War, so the Road to 400 Gear Score, has the first episode, episode 0, has been released. Episode 1 will be released later this week. I'm aiming for about 10, probably 15-minute episodes. Probably about 5 or 6 episodes in the series before I hit 400. And then I will naturally continue to 450, as a lot of people in the comments are saying that 450 is really what I should be aiming for. 400 is somewhat lower than most Tier 1 Node War guilds are aiming for these days, but it is still in the ballpark, but 450 is for sure what the next goal for the series will be. So last week in the update, you guys told me, so if I go over here, that the reason the Osseoset video did so well was because of the C region. So I thought that was a really interesting comment, and I decided to look into it. Also, I appreciate Senju's comment here about analytic data, but I don't really have any revenue yet, and if someone really wants to use my analytic data to harm the channel, I don't really see too much in the way of harm being able to be done. I suppose maybe I could be revealing my plans a little early, but I don't really think that's too much of a problem. There's not that many other BDO YouTubers that are doing super well, so for now, I'm fairly comfortable with sharing as much about the channel as I am, but maybe later down the line I'll share a bit less, or I'll curate it a bit more and kind of show selective stuff. I don't know. For now, though, I feel that this weekly vlog is a great way to kind of keep in touch with you guys, the viewers, that really make the channel, well, stay alive and continue to advance. We've hit 2,500 subscribers and over 500,000 total views, so I mean, that's pretty sweet right there. I am, of course, aiming for 1 million views, hopefully by my birthday, which is in July. So having hit the 500,000 mark is pretty important, especially because I think I only hit 100,000 sometime in January, really early January. So I'm doing fairly well for views per month so far. So anyways, back to the SEA region. So the Osseoset, despite only being 2 weeks old, is the 4th biggest video on the channel now. And of course, I decided that seeing if your theories about the C region getting the Osseoset and them being the reason for the success was true or not, definitely bore a very good reason to investigate, because if catering to the C region would allow me to get this many views on the regular, that would be great. So I can actually see where all the views for the channel really originate from. So if I go to analytics here, where is it? Is it in audience or is it in discovery? Here it is, top countries. So here's the top countries for the channel. The United States has just over 1/3 of the total views. In watch time. Can I find it in minutes, I wonder? I don't think I can see it in minutes, unfortunately. So just over 1/3 of the total minutes, followed by Germany, the UK, and then Canada. And Australia follows it up. So it's really the Commonwealth, Germany, and the United States, which have the majority of the views at over 50% of the total channel. That's what, 44, 45, 51, 57, 58, yeah, 58. So about just over 60% of the total views for the channel come from these 5 countries. Of course, Australia has half the next one, and Canada, the UK, and Germany don't even have as many combined as the United States, but these are the 5 big ones. And as primarily English-speaking countries, with the exception of Germany, and Germans do often speak English, so no surprise that these are the top countries for views. Sweden is actually pretty surprising because Sweden is not a huge country in terms of population, but it is, it does have a lot of English-speaking people, and I'm actually pretty damn happy at the turnout from Sweden. So after Sweden, actually, you can see the Southeast Asian countries are actually pretty high up in the list. The Philippines, Indonesia, and Singapore are all, I believe, in the top 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, Singapore is 10th, followed by Norway. And then Malaysia's down here at 13th. So you can see there is definitely a viewership from Southeast Asia, but it is not a huge part of the channel's overall viewership. It did spike recently with the Osseo set, but it did not spike really noticeably for the channel. I believe it spiked by about 40% more views, something like that, when I looked at the actual totals. But it wasn't so huge that it really bears merit to cater solely to Southeast Asia. But it's an interesting hypothesis, and there is a noticeable spike since I posted the Oslo set for these countries. Unfortunately, they don't make up a huge total of my total viewership. Let's see. Philippines 2.4, so 4.6, and then if you add in Singapore, you get to 6.5, and then if you add in Malaysia, you get to 8% of the total channel viewership, which is significant, but when you compare to the fact that 60% of the channel is from more developed regions, Europe and North America, it's not quite high enough for me to really follow along Southeast Asia and make dedicated videos every time they get a new update. But if you guys chime in the comments and tell me when Southeast Asia is getting a new update, if they're getting something new such as Yasio said in the future, I'll definitely make a video if I don't have one already up just for the region, because I want to help out everyone when it comes to video, not just North America and Europe. Continuing from that, there are some other interesting stuff in the analytics. So as you can see, it is 96% male and 3.8% female for the gender. It's still overwhelmingly on the side of males watching the content. You can see there's not a huge female population watching Black Desert YouTube videos, or King's Raid YouTube videos, I suppose. For age, it is still overwhelmingly between 18 and 44. Those make up over 90% of my total views, which is pretty insane to think about. In fact, I think they make up almost 95%. So yeah, I actually have some 65 plus crowd, which is interesting, especially when you consider I have double the amount of 65 plus people watching as I do 55 to 64. So that's pretty interesting. Shout out to anyone 65 plus watching these videos. Thank you very much. Watch time from subscribers. So it's only 8%, but that's actually gone up a lot. When I first started monitoring these analytics, the watch time from subscribers was only at 1 or 2%. So it makes sense that this will keep going up as the channel ages. As the more people that watch the channel and the more people that subscribe, the more people from the Black Desert sort of viewership, so the audience for Black Desert videos on YouTube, the more of them will be part of the subscriber base, and the higher this number will get. So it's pretty nice to see this number going up. I'm very happy that more people are subscribing to the channel, and yeah, it's good to see. For interactive content, the end screen elements shown is going up, but I'm pretty lazy with adding end screen elements. I do need to add a lot more, just because I don't really add that many. A lot of my videos are very standalone videos. I have end screen elements on stuff like the processing videos and the worker empire videos that naturally feed into each other, but I don't show that many. I only show one per video, and a lot of my bigger videos I don't have any end screen elements at all. So I should probably throw an end screen element onto the 2018 video for the beginner's guide, but I want to update the beginner's guide. That is my goal for April, to update the beginner's guide. My goal for March was to update a few of the other videos, and I'm starting to do that. The 2018 video wasn't updated, but it was a video that needed to exist, and now I'm going to update the gear guide as well as the money-making guides. over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. So by the end of March, expect both of those videos to be done, and hopefully they both do well and surpass the previous totals. So if I sort by views, you can see, I don't want a value, what? Oh, this is so stupid. Just sort by views, damn it. Whatever. Oh, okay, here it is. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Let's just ignore that that ever happened. So, if you sort by views, you can see, as always, the beginner's guide is the behemoth, sitting far up at the top. But you can see it's got a lot less interactivity than some of the other videos. It's got 198 comments, so almost 200. But some of the much newer videos, such as Pay to Win, have a lot more views, or not views, sorry, comments, with a lot less views. Even though it's got 1/10 of the views, it's got almost double the comments, which is pretty interesting. Probably because it's a much more controversial video, but you'd expect with almost 10 times the total views for it to have at least a decent amount of comments compared to it. But oh well. A few of the other videos that I've uploaded recently have quite a few comments. For example, Processing Empire has 31 videos comments. Cacao Limiting Number of Pen Items has 108. Should You Play Lighthouse in 2018 has 258, which is pretty sweet. So it's interesting to see stuff like that. Likes versus dislikes for the top videos. My older videos have more likes compared to dislikes. Newer videos that I'm uploading, with the exception of stuff like the Processing Empire, for the most part are a little more controversial. Money Making Methods is one of the older videos that people disliked, probably because I ramble a lot in it. I do talk about all the various money-making methods, but I don't necessarily elaborate on them as much as I should, and this is before I had a lot of the follow-up videos, such as Processing Empire, or Processing itself, or Making Money with Cooking, or Fishing, uploaded. So people came to my channel, they saw this, they watched it, but then they had nothing else to follow it up with, and I feel they kind of felt betrayed by that, so less dislikes. Should You Play Lighthouse in 2018, I don't expect it to have a great like to dislike ratio, just because even though it is clearly an opinion video, and if you don't want to play Black Desert, just don't play it. Some people do disagree with my opinion on why you should play, and as a result, well, they're going to dislike the video. So, for the most part, the channel is doing pretty well. I'm hoping that the new videos, once I upload them, can kind of replace some of the older videos that are pretty high up in the total likes. The gearing guide, once I upload it, I'm really hoping does even better than the Oscilla set. Same with the money-making guide. I'm really hoping the new money-making methods video does well, because the old one did fairly well for a while, but it's still not amazing, especially for one of my first videos. I'm also looking into doing more, what's the word for it? Time links? Timestamps? That's the word, timestamps. So I really feel that timestamps are very important to my videos, just because I tend to make longer videos. If you look at my top 5 here, top 6 really, you can see that the shortest one is 11 minutes 40 seconds, followed by 17-18 minutes, and then the longest one is of course over an hour long. I have a tendency to ramble. I am well aware of this. It is one of my flaws, but it's also a strength because it lets me talk about a lot more. And as a result, timestamps are very important for people that don't want to watch the entire video, but just want to find out a specific thing about the video. I actually have timestamps on the beginner's guide, and I feel that is one of the reasons that it has done so well, because you can jump to any point in the guide and just listen to what you want to learn about in the guide. So I would like to start timestamping a few of my more important videos. One's over 15 minutes long, as I feel before that. For the most part, before 15 minutes, you don't really need to timestamp them, as people can just kind of jump between the video naturally and find the point they're looking for, and there's less points in a 15-minute video to timestamp and jump to. Apart from that, I'm also looking to improve the audio quality in my videos. I have a fairly nice microphone, but it also picks up on some stuff I don't want it to pick up on. For example, when I'm swallowing or making other noises, if I accidentally whack my chair or my desk or something like that. My microphone picks up a lot of that stuff, so I'm trying to tinker with the settings, especially the gain and some of the other settings on the microphone, to try and make it pick up a bit less while still maintaining my current level of audio quality. I do not want to go back to the audio quality from my original microphone, that I did stuff like the Beginner's Guide to the First Month with, because that audio quality sucks, and realistically I would really love better audio quality than that while not picking up on every little thing I do. So apart from that, my plans for this week are to remake the gear guide and for episode 1 of the brand new series. So this is a really nice thumbnail. I really love what my fiance did with this. It's easy to look at. It really encapsulates the beauty of Black Desert. It's one of the loading screens actually. It's got the episode number in the top here, and it's got Black Desert Online on the bottom, and it looks kind of like an achievement unlocked type thing, which is really cool. And honestly, I'm not sure if I should actually use this for a lot more of my videos, kind of replace the banner I've got going on at the bottom of the screen, or if I should kind of keep that for my series and keep the normal banner for just standalone videos. So the series, episode 1 will be up this week. Like I said, I want it to be about 15 minutes long, and episode 1 will be focusing on leveling up and getting to the first kind of gear score point, to the first set of gear. Someone in the comments actually predicted what the various gear breakpoints would be and what the various episodes would be, and they were about 30 to 40% right. I've actually got the spreadsheet that I did for the accessories. I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, here it is, the accessory upgrade spreadsheet. That, I've actually got a hidden thing on there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. And it's got a lot of different gear score stuff. I've been tinkering with various gear setups to see what you need to hit various gear score breakpoints. And I've got a fairly good idea of what I want to do to hit the various gear score points. I'm looking to do about an episode, maybe 2 episodes a week, getting to 400, and then after 400, it's going to take a lot longer per episode, just because some people in the comments actually said I should get to 500, but my main is actually only at about 450. Getting to 500 gear score, if you don't want to use sort of cheaper tactics like upgrading a lot of green gear instead of going for boss gear, or if you want to, for example, buy Tet green or blues, buy accessories that aren't necessarily good but offer a lot of DP and stuff. That's an easy way to get to 500, but I want to do it in a more natural way and get to 500 with a fairly good gear setup. So while I will be doing a series to 500 after I hit 450, 450 will probably hit in about 2 months in the series, maybe a month and a half. We'll have to see how the series goes. 400 gear score I can hit in a week fairly easily, but I do want to kind of stretch the series out over pretty much the course of the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then I'll go to 450 after that. So we'll see kind of after that how it's progressing and the reception from the series. And after 450, I might go to 500, or I might start an entirely new series. It'll kind of be up to the reception the series has got and the feedback I get over the course of the series. This week will be fairly focused on leveling, hitting 50, and also just getting the first few pieces of gear together. I've already got a lot of footage recorded. I think the character's only level 17 right now, but level 17 takes a lot longer than level 20 to 50 does. And because he's not using any of my main's gear, he's leveling fairly slowly. But now that he's got a few million silver under his belt from a few days of playtime, he will be able to buy a few decent pieces of gear. I think I've got a plus 15 Rosar blade that he's going to receive. I just need to wait for it to show up on the market, and then once it shows up, he'll be able to buy it as he has the silver saved up for that. And he's also starting to buy various basic accessories, such as Bear's accessories. Apart from that, I'm still looking for another game for the channel. King's Raid, while it's a lot of fun, is kind of, I'm not going to say a passion project, but it's kind of a project for me personally to unwind with. It's a game that I enjoy playing, it's a game that's a lot of fun. As always, I'm kind of playing it off on the side of the screen. But it's not necessarily what my viewership is looking for, and it's hard to break into the King's Raid market because there's bigger YouTubers such as Mogadi and until like 2 weeks ago K Gaming. Currently I think Mogadi, D-Router, and a few others really take up most of the market share for King's Raid right now. And of course I'm going to keep making videos for King's Raid, but it is a secondary concern. I don't focus on making King's Raid videos every week. It's more of something, I try to make at least 1 or 2 a week, but it's not something that I'm kicking myself over if I miss a day or two for King's Raid, like I do if I miss a Saturday or Sunday for Black Desert, or if I miss something like a patch notes on Wednesday. So I'm still looking for a computer game that I can add. Sea of Thieves actually comes out today. It's 1:43 a.m. where I am on the 20th, and today is the day Sea of Thieves officially releases. So I am probably going to pick that up. I'm going to do a few episodes of that, but I don't know if I'm going to be super successful with that, as Sea of Thieves is a very successful game, and I don't really think I'm a big enough YouTuber for people to choose my channel over other more influential channels that will also be playing Sea of Thieves. Also, Sea of Thieves, because of the style of game it is, doesn't have that much to make guides on. While there are a number of interesting stuff, I suppose, you can make stuff about, like if I go way back, title contains C. So yeah, so here's all the Sea of Thieves videos. I think I made a few videos on it. Yeah, so I've got gameplay video, which has a decent number of views actually. It's slowly climbing. I've got a few various guide videos. I've got the Weapons of Sea of Thieves, which is doing surprisingly well. Need to update this though because they've changed a few things, so I will be updating this probably once I wake up and get the game. The basic controls is also doing better than I thought. The upcoming game didn't do too well. Not very many people watched that at all, but this was back when it was a very small channel, back in January. Storms, this is another kind of a guide video, but didn't do too well. And then I did a piece talking about the Kraken and stuff, but once again, 300 views. So I'm hopeful that if I do videos on Sea of Thieves, it'll do well, but there's not that much to talk about because the style of game of Sea of Thieves is very much a make your own adventure, but not in the same way as Skyrim or even Black Desert itself. It's not so much a sandbox as it is just kind of an open world, have fun and do what you want. Literally, you're a pirate. Pirates do as they please. You can go and loot people, you can kill people, and you can search for buried treasure. But apart from a few little mechanics here and there, such as how to use your weapons optimally, how to sail optimally, and I don't know, how the Kraken works, there's not really too much else to talk about in Sea of Thieves, which means after I run out of guides to make, it would really just be down to my gameplay. And I haven't started streaming yet. That's my real goal for the next 2 months. I'm looking to buy I've got the 16 gigabytes of RAM. I'm looking to buy a new graphics card, but the price of graphics cards right now, oh god, it's painful. Oh god, it's just really painful. Especially because I live in Canada, so the price here is even worse than it is in the United States. And really, it's just painful, I'll be honest. So I'm saving money for it, but it could be a little while longer before I can actually stream at a decent FPS and stuff. I've streamed before. I streamed Absolver back when I was playing Absolver. That would have been November, I want to say. And the stream worked fine, but as my computer gets older, as the stream starts becoming a bit more demanding, and as I play games such as Black Desert, which are a lot more resource intensive than Absolver was, it's going to be a lot harder for me to stream at a decent FPS and a decent enough level of graphics to kind of keep people happy. So I am waiting a bit long before I start streaming. I might start streaming kind of like trial runs soon, but we'll have to kind of see how my computer can handle it and what the reception's like. I will be making this little tiny video. So Azrael's kind of told me that I should make a tiny little video, like 30 seconds long, that says, hey guys, I'm streaming, here's the link, and then just post that whenever I'm streaming. That's probably a pretty good idea, so I'm probably going to do that soon. But I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do that this week or if I'll wait a little while longer. But yeah, so I am still looking for another game for the channel. Sea of Thieves is a great game, but I'm not sure if it's the right game for the channel, or if it's just going to be a game that I occasionally make a video on, but for the most part just kind of leave as is. I am still hoping for another MMO. My only real problem with other MMOs is that Black Desert's a fairly unique MMO. If I wanted to play another action MMO, Blade & Soul's problem for me is that living in Canada, the Blade & Soul servers really suck to connect to. They're pretty far away. I get like 100 ping, and the class I played in Blade & Soul was an assassin, which kind of wants a decent ping. Same with the Kung Fu Master, even more because of all the animation cancels and the Blade Master. Apart from that, old school RuneScape, yes, there's a lot to make guides on, but... And I mean, it is a similar game. I'm just not sure if people want to see old school RuneScape videos. I'll make a few just to kind of test the waters. I do have a script for beginner's guide somewhere, banging around. I've got a lot of scripts sitting around that I should really start making. But there's always these new content that keeps coming out for Black Desert. Like, seriously, recently, for the last few weeks, there's been a lot of new content in Black Desert. The Rabam skills and the Absolute skills, new stuff about information about Dragon, or Drake, I still don't know how to say that, honestly. The second anniversary, like, these are all stuff over the last 3 weeks, and it's been a lot of stuff to kind of do, which has really helped the channel. Like, if I go to the analytics here, so you can kind of see the analytics over the last few weeks have been doing really well, but I'm kind of expecting a sort of drop soon, down to probably about this level. So I estimate about 6K is where the channel might settle if I'm unlucky and cannot maintain the current pace. In terms of Black Desert stuff, people are pretty unhappy as well with Black Desert. I will be making an opinion video sometime this week about the recent problems they've been having with the servers and people's dislike of what's going on. But I don't want to be too doom and gloom, so it's not going to be a super long video. But I am kind of hopeful that they will bounce back. Did super well for subscribers actually recently. Sunday I got 118 subscribers. At this rate, we should hit 3,000 subscribers sometime in the next week and a half. As long as we don't get too many days like these, where I get very low subscriber numbers. Hoping for about 60 a day on average, which would be nice. Obviously, this could be the average, the best day ever. If that could be the average from now on, that would be nice. But it's probably going to settle around 50 to 60 a day on average. Bad days having 30, good days having 100. And I'm really hoping that I haven't tapped out the really the market for Black Desert videos. Well, I haven't tapped it obviously yet. I'm still getting a good amount of subscribers per day. The view count is still trending positively, but I really do feel that there's just, like I've talked about in this last week, but there's just not a huge market for Black Desert videos and stuff. Yes, there's a decent market. Yes, I'm not near the cap yet. I feel the cap is probably about 10,000 subscribers, with a good channel getting to about 5,000 or 6,000, and that's pretty much the average, maybe a bit more for big videos like the beginner's guide. But for people serious about the game that really want to play, the cap is really, it's not that high. Black Desert's a popular game in the West, but as I was talking with my guild leader the other day, Black Desert gets, I want to say, between 200,000 and 500,000 players at any given time in the West, and then it gets some players as well in the East. I know it's not as popular in Korea as it is here. It's decently popular in Southeast Asia and South America. It's decently popular in a few other regions, but for the most part, in North America and Europe, it gets between about 200,000 and 500,000 players, and that's not that much. World of Warcraft has, even during its lulls, has like 4 million subscribers at any given point, and goes up to over 10 million when a new expansion hits. And obviously World of Warcraft's the biggest MMO out there, but there's a bunch of other MMOs that are bigger than Black Desert. I believe Guild Wars 2 has more concurrent players. I believe Final Fantasy 14 is doing better. And there's a bunch of others that are in the same ballpark as Black Desert. So it's not like Black Desert's the biggest game out there. So I'm really hopeful I don't hit the cap anytime soon, and that I can keep expanding beyond just Black Desert, and kind of expand into other games and into just mainstream gaming. But of course, right now the channel's still pretty small, 2,500 subscribers, less than 1 million total views. So for now, I'm just focused on growing. Black Desert is currently the best avenue for my growth, so I am focusing on that. But I would like to add another game to the channel. It's just difficult to find another game to add that is as fun as Black Desert and has as much to talk about. Old School RuneScape has a lot to talk about, but in the end, you kind of focus on, you can talk about each of the skills, you can talk about, there's not too much about combat. Combat in Old School RuneScape is deeper than a lot of people think, but it's still not all that deep. I wouldn't really be into bossing and stuff. There's already a ton of people that do stuff like late game bossing. So there's not that huge a list of videos for me to make for Old School RuneScape. World of Warcraft's hugely deep as it's been out for over a decade. The problem is that it's been out for over a decade. It's got a ton of established content creators, and it's currently in a lull. I've got to wait till September for the new expansion. So starting to make videos now would be good for gaining a viewer base for it, but the viewer base might not be as passionate as I'd like. So I'd have to kind of make test videos, and to make test videos I have to subscribe again, which costs money. Apart from World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2 is always free to play. I would have to buy the newest expansion. I've only got Heart of Thorns. I do not have the Path of Fire, I believe it's called. So Guild Wars 2, it's a very casual game, which is nice because it means my progress is still pretty much the exact same as it was when I left. But because it's such a casual game, making guides about it isn't super great. And World versus World in Guild Wars 2 is really just, it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of Zerg versus Zerg, and solo roaming kind of gets boring after a while because there's only so many other solo roamers that you kind of start to recognize people. So that's probably Guild Wars 2. ESO, I wouldn't mind trying. It's just that ESO is, it's not a game a lot of people talk about. It's fairly popular. I think it's about as popular as Black Desert, if not a little more popular. It's only not a very talked about game. So ESO's big advantage is that if Bethesda ever gets around to freaking announcing a brand new Elder Scrolls game, ESO will get a huge boost in popularity for a while. Like, seriously, Bethesda, please, I'm begging you. Skyrim was amazing, and Skyrim was 7 years ago. Please make a new Elder Scrolls game. Stop remaking Skyrim. Apart from ESO, I believe those are the big MMOs in the West, so I could branch out from MMOs, but MMOs are a lot of fun, and they're kind of what my channel focuses on. I could do Overwatch content. I am decently ranked in Overwatch. I could grind all the way back up to Diamond if I wanted to. I'm currently in Plat. I'm not sure if I could hit Masters. I've never really seriously tried. Maybe if I really applied myself I could hit Masters, but I feel that would be my limit. I don't think I'm Grandmaster material, being perfectly honest. Maybe I could be if I really, really tried, but I don't think I am. Talent undeniably exists, and my talent is fairly good. I'm usually about top 1%, but top 1% is not as good as a lot of people think. I guess I'll kind of close out the video with this little discussion. So top 1% sounds very impressive. When you say you're Diamond in League of Legends, well, a few seasons ago anyways, Diamond in League of Legends, when you're highly ranked in other games, top 1%, it sounds very impressive. But top 1% is only 1 out of 100. There's a saying, 1 in a million. 1 in a million is the top 100 of the top 100, and I believe it's the top 100 of that. Let me think. 100 times 100 is 10,000. And then multiply that by, yeah, so it's the top 100 of the top 100 of the top 100, if that makes sense. So if you took the top, if you took 1 in 100 from 100 schools, and then you took the one from that, and then you took 1 in 100 from those 100, you know, made them a group of 100, and then you took the top one of that, that is 1 in a million. And that's a lot of people that get left out. That's 10,000 people that were 1 in 100 for you to find the 1 in a million. If you have, it's a lot easier to visualize with this type of discussion here. If you are in a high school of 1,000 people, so you've got a few grades, you've got 1,000 people, and that means there will be 10 people in that high school that are 1 in 100. So if you make a basketball team, has about 10 players, 5 active players, and a few good subs, then you've got your 1 in 100 10 times. And usually you will have one of those people will probably be the 1 in 1,000, maybe even 1 in 10,000. That's really exceptional. So if you then took 10 high schools, so you got 10 high schools of 1,000 people, and you created an all-star team from those 10 high schools, you'd only be able to get the top player from each high school. So those people that were each 1 in 100, now they're 1 in 1,000 because you've got a bunch of other people that are taking their spots. So the top one of those top 10. And you kind of go up like that. So you went from the best in the school to the best in the region, and a bunch of people got cut out. Then you go from the best in the, well, it's not region, so the best in the school district. So you got 10 schools in the district. And then you go from the school district to the regional level. And the regional level is usually the, for example, in Halifax, it would be the Halifax Regional Municipality. And then you've got those people. So you take those already limited district teams and you take the best players from those and you make those the regional team. And then the regional team goes to compete on the provincial level, which you take even less people. So you take all those superstars from each of the schools, and a lot of them are getting cut. And now you've got a bunch of superstars from different regions, and a bunch of them are getting cut. And now you've got your provincial team. And then your provincial team might even get wiped out against some other provincial team, which has even better players. So when you go to make the national team, only 2 or 3 of the people from your provincial squad, which already represent the best of the best from all the schools in your province or state or whatever, you've only got 2 or 3 people from your entire province, state, whatever, that are being sent on to the national squad. And then the national squad, of course, that's usually the top level most of these people will reach, because international squads are usually just national squads. But you've got several levels of elimination between each of them, where really talented people, the 1 in 10, the 1 in 100s, the 1 in 1000s, are getting eliminated because they're not the 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000. So while being diamond or being top 1% in a game might sound very impressive, realistically, the top 1% cannot compete with the top 0.01%. These are the professional level players, these are the grandmasters, these are the challenger league players, these are the players that are amazing, that you're comparing yourself to when you're playing video games. And it's what makes video games honestly so special, I feel, in that anyone can realistically, well, not realistically, but anyone could get to a level where they can play with the professionals. If you're trying to play soccer and you're at a superstar level, but you're not at a national or professional superstar level, you're just below that, you're a guy that would make the national squad, but you wouldn't necessarily make you're a guy that would make the provincial squad, but not national squad, for example. You don't get to play with these amazing players unless you're lucky enough to have one of them on your provincial squad. If you're, for example, a hockey player, and you're from a country that doesn't have a very strong hockey squad, and you get sent to the Olympics is a bad example because the NHL did not send the best players to the Olympics this year. But if you play, for example, want to play for your national team, and you play for a country without a very strong hockey squad, for example, I don't know, South Korea, for example, then you have a very good chance of meeting. Your only way to meet your heroes, the absolute pros, is if you've got a South Korean pro that plays for the team. If you play for Germany, for example, Germany actually managed to win silver at the Olympics, and you want to meet Leon Draisaitl, who plays for Edmonton and is a superstar. If he doesn't go play in the Olympics, you're out of luck. But if he plays for the Olympics and you are able to play at the national level, you'll get to meet him. But in video games, this happens all the time, because if you're good enough, you will get put in games with professional level players. I have played with a ton of professional level players in League of Legends. It's been a while since I played League of Legends, so a lot of the names you guys might not recognize. But people like Salse, Echo, I've been in games with, I think I played with PewDiePie before. I played with a number of various different streamers at high levels. A lot of these were in normal games, because my elo in normal games is very inflated compared to my ranked elo, where I kind of top it at Diamond 5 and then stop playing usually. So I've played with a lot of these higher level players, and even though I'm nowhere near as good as them, I'm not challenge level, I'm not masters level, I've been able to play with them, been able to, meet the pros and been like, holy shit, and had those moments of fanboying over players. And it's really cool that video games kind of let you do that. They let you interact with the professional level players, even if you are not professional level yourself. And that's one of the unique charms video games have. So back to kind of the point of this, I could play Overwatch, but I'm not sure if people would be interested in like diamond level Overwatch stuff, especially because the channel would start at plat and be like road to diamond. And Overwatch, there's a lot of stuff you can talk about in Overwatch, but at the same time, it's not on the same level as Guides or Black Desert, where anyone can realistically pull off what I'm doing in Black Desert, because it's a lot of macro level stuff and not so much micro. So it's definitely kind of not sure if I should get into stuff like shooters and stuff, or if I should stay with MMOs. Anyways, I really think that I've talked long enough. I rambled again. I was going to try and keep this short, but unfortunately, I have a tendency to ramble, as I'm sure everyone knows by now. So, thanks for watching this weekly vlog, guys. I wish you all the best, and have a good one.